Today is a really important milestone. We're celebrating the start of construction work, of building work on Remaking Beamish by cutting the sod on the site of Spainsfield Farm, and from over the next 3 to 4 years 30 new buildings will come out of the ground and to allow us to tell more stories of everyday life in the North East. It's an £18 million project which will take us 3 to 4 years to complete. It includes 30 buildings across the site. It expands the stories that we already tell to include new time periods, a 1950s area, which will be a town and a farm, telling stories of what life was like in that period, and also to expand the stories that we tell in the 1820s area. So if you know where the church is in the 1820s, there will be a series of buildings in that area, including a coaching room, which you'll be able to stay overnight in. So lots of new exciting things happening. The ground was quite hard. The stones, I think they deliberately gave me a very, very rubbish spade, and there was a stone just an inch under the ground. So no, it was great, and it was nice to have everybody there that was been involved in the development of the project. One of the nice things about it is it's our staff here who've led the design work, who've gone out across the region to gather the stories, selected the buildings that we're going to build here. So it was a nice moment for them too. Well, I think for the museum, it's a sort of natural expansion, so it's not going to feel any different from the existing areas of the museum. It'll just be in a different time period, so we're going to carry on using the same kind of culture and techniques, if you like, so you'll see people in 50s costume, and you'll be able to eat the food, sit on the chairs and share memories with other visitors, and it'll add a lot to it though. So I think it's already, difficult to get around Beamish in a day, and I think in the future it really will be a two-day visit. And I think also the opportunity to stay overnight in the museum. We know from asking the public that they're really keen on staying at Beamish. This isn't a modern hotel. It'll be an 1820s coaching inn. So lots of new ways to experience the museum. And in terms of the wider region, we already attract a lot of visitors from outside the North East, over 300,000 people every year, tourist visitors to the museum out of our 750,000 total visitors, and we're expecting 100,000 more tourists to come to the North East as a result. Well, I think what I'm probably most interested in and excited about, it's not one particular building. I think it's making sure that as we develop Beamish, we do so in a way which is true to our principles, to the sort of founding spirit, if you like, of Beamish. And I think what I'm most looking forward to is, at the end of the day, what we're developing here fitting into the wider stories that we already tell in a seamless way. So, and then people will be able to compare what life was like in the 1820s to life in the 1950s, go into the different homes from the early 20th century and think about the social housing that they'd seen in the 1950s. So those contrasting stories that fit into an overall narrative that takes us from the sort of foundation period of the region, if you like, in the early 19th century, right through to within living memory. The good causes, the amount of donations that come from lottery players, hopefully this is a really good example of a good cause, in the sense that people will like to see the money that they put into the National Lottery reinvested in the area that they live, and hopefully that will encourage them to keep buying lottery tickets and enable future projects like this right across the region.